Have you been in a situation wherein you needed to persuade a stranger to do something for you? Unless you live under a rock, this situation is inevitable for all of us. Every so often, we are placed in that scenario where we need to talk to a complete stranger because we need something from him or her. Remember the time you needed to talk your way out of a speeding ticket? Or the time you needed the new guy in the office to share the load your boss dumped on you? Or the time you were selling or negotiating? The main challenge when trying to persuade a stranger is that the other person does not know you. This unfamiliarity instantly becomes a wall that, if not taken down, will result to an ungranted request. In this quickie, we will explore some techniques to break down the wall of unfamiliarity to have a higher chance of your wish being granted. Before we start, I would like you to pretend that you just landed at the airport after a very long flight, and the only thing you want to do is to go home and take a much needed rest. At the taxi bay, you are met by the following taxi drivers. Which one of the drivers will you hire? Well, you most likely have chosen the taxi driver who is the most similar to you. Most likely same age, same gender, and the same features maybe if you look like a cartoon. Okay, kidding aside, your choice reflects the principle of liking. Robert Cialdini in his book Influence anchors this principle on the basic notion that people say yes to other people they know and like. Going back to the example earlier, in your choice of taxi driver, you were most likely drawn by the similarities of gender and age to make your decision. So when trying to persuade a stranger, it would be wise to keep in mind the principle of liking. To have a higher chance of persuading them, you need to let them know you and like you. And here are some tips that you can do. Number 1. Give compliments. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves here. You, me, and any other human on the planet like to be complimented. So if you give a sincere compliment to a stranger, your likability increases, which leads you a step closer to persuade. Oh, by the way, you've been a great audience so far. Wink, wink. Number 2. Use we. Instead of using you, I, or me in your communication, use we. We like people who work with us and not against us. So to create that impression that you are ready to cooperate towards a mutual goal, use we. We? We. Number 3. Find common grounds. Since likability is increased with familiarity, if you want to persuade, you need to constantly find common grounds in your conversation. Listen to accents, observe office or home surroundings, pay attention to the clothes and accessories worn, ask follow-up questions when the other party reveals personal information. By doing these, you might find something in common with the person you're trying to persuade. And inserting these information in the conversation can make you more familiar with the other party which can make them more accepting of your request. Number 4. Match the manner of speaking. To make you more similar to the other person you are persuading, it would also help to pay attention to his or her manner of speaking, whether the conversation is face-to-face or over the phone. Identify the pacing, the tone, and the volume. Listen to the exact words and phrases used. When responding to the other person in your conversation, try matching the other person's pacing, tone, volume, and words and phrases. So can you respond to this question by matching the manner of speaking? So what predicament are you in which needs my utmost attention? Number 5. Mirror body language. A subtle way of telling the other person that you are similar to them is by mirroring his or her body language. Try mirroring the other person's posture, gesture, and even facial expressions. Just don't exaggerate the mirroring to the levels of twiddle-dee and twiddle-dum. What you want from the other party is acceptance and not annoyance. And the last, number 6, increase your attractiveness. As much as we do not want to judge a book by its cover, it is human nature to be more accommodating to people who are more attractive. People tend to be more persuaded by people they like. Although you can't do much about your physical attributes, proper grooming and dressing can increase your attractiveness also. Well, if you have the money and the resource, plastic surgery can also be an option. So when you're doing sales, negotiations, or just striking a conversation with a stranger, remember that you can increase your power of persuasion if you are known and liked. Just remember the following tips. Give compliments. Use we. Find common grounds. Match the manner of speaking. Mirror body language. Increase your attractiveness. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will know if we will have another Quickie. See you in our next Quickie.